here at Crown Casino in Melbourne. We've got lockdown, so the casino's not open. I was hoping I'd be able to play poker because there's nothing else to do on a Sunday night. But yeah, it's closed. The whole city's closed down. I just need to take a piss somewhere. I've forgotten where the toilets are. I used to work here. This sucks. Anyway, this is another lighting condition. I'll switch this around, this camera. So this is various lighting conditions. I'll try to collect some different lighting conditions for you. I can't see what the screen shows. My objective now is to, probably shouldn't be touching the railing, is to find a toilet. It's arrived. Inside this bag are the remaining 2 custom hair pieces that I ordered in June. It's now the middle of February. It's February 16, 2021. And out of this bag, I'm going to pull 2 15 by 30 centimeter medium dark brown rectangles. Okay. If they are my liking, I'll make a more promotional style video with no swearing that Lord Hair can use on their website. They've already decided that this is a good idea to offer people for sale. So they've taken some photos of these. I said it's fine, just delay it for an extra week or so and take some photos of it or whatever, because they want to provide for the partials market. I've been complaining to them for a few years. Why don't you sell partials? It's like there are more people who are balding than who are completely bald. Why don't you want to target that? Why doesn't any hair company want to target people who need a partial cover? Hair that's just receded there and there, or just there. Everything's a full topper with quality only controlled to this point, and then after that it's just zigzagging all over the place. So my specifications have been very clear to them. If we're going to have poly, the rectangles like that, I need them all straight line stitching all the way through instead of straight lines at the front and then zigzaggy all around behind, which is what happens on the stock pieces. I wish partials were stock, because stock pieces arrive within a week. This has taken 7 months, 8 months to arrive. I got the first order, which was poly. That's what I'm wearing now. This is the final piece I was able to cut out of one of those, that one rectangle that I received. I was supposed to receive 4 of those, but the first one they sent me was simply a kind of a sample to see if I liked it. I said, no, it's not dense enough. And the V-lips are weak, the hairs are pulling out. Aside from that, it looks pretty good. And everyone on camera thinks it looks good. But when I do extreme close-ups, or if I'm with my cousin the other day, she said, no, it looks fake. Straight across. Let me just quickly switch cameras so you can see a close-up of what's going on here at this front hairline. It's very hard, I won't be able to see what I'm doing when I do this, but let's have a look if I can spin it around and get some close-ups. All right, I've realized that my window is reflecting the phone screen a bit, so I can sort of aim. Hopefully that's all in focus. Can you see what I mean by the fakeness of the knots not being bleached properly, etc.? This hairpiece is 3 weeks old. I've been wearing it for 3 weeks. So it's not going to be as good as new, but you can still see that those lines are really artificial looking. And so in the case of poly, let me just switch back cameras. I'm not used to not being able to, which one is it? There are 2 cameras on this side and 1 camera on the other side. So I'm going to switch this whole thing around, okay? I'll go back to normal. But okay, just let me tell you, I think that they should send, if you're stitching through a piece of membrane, a piece of plastic, down and up, just a V loop, right? You just do that all the way through. And then afterwards, you flip the whole thing upside down. You've got the tops of the V-lips all around here. They're all just exposed, little things like that, little V's all over the back of it, right? And then they slap down some plastic and press it in so it's sealed. I'm saying, before that step, bleach this whole area so that these little V's are bleached. Then put the plastic so that it'll look like hair's just coming straight out of the skin without any, because it'll be blonde. You won't be able to see anything underneath, right? And I call this sandwich bleaching process for the poly systems. For the lace pieces, I can't think of a better way than what they already do, because they've got full access to the knots after they've done it, and then they can just place bleach all over the dark brown or whatever the color those hairs are. But what they could do really, to make sure that those knots are absolutely invisible, which is what we all want, is to start with blonde hair and then dye the hair whatever color you need after the roots. You don't want some, blonde to the first knuckle and then straight across brown. That'll look like regrowth. But when you bleach or dye, it sort of seeps down a little bit like a sponge into the hair follicles, and therefore it doesn't end up being a straight line unless you do a really bad job of dyeing it. At any rate, with practice, that could become good, and then they would just mass produce those. Obviously, if you bleach hair, it weakens it and makes it brittle. You can also turn it into scarecrow hair without a lot of keratin or whatever it is. So, but I mean, I would still prefer that option. The option that maybe it is going to be a little bit more brittle, but at least the knots are perfect. So with these two hair pieces that I've received, they're both French lace and they're not poly, because the poly people were on COVID holiday. And so I've had to deal with, we've got to have lace. So these two hair pieces in here, they're not hair pieces as such, they're hair piece rectangles. And I'm going to cut out 6 hair pieces, 6 partials for myself out of this, okay? But like I say, I'm going to look at it first on a white surface, some bright lights, show it to you, and together we can discuss whether or not they deserve a promotional video. So yeah, if you go to lordhair.com, you can see these are for sale now. Both the poly choice and the French lace choice. But I always want to tell you the truth, and I want to tell Lord Hair the truth, because I don't want to be given stuff that doesn't have properly bleached knots. I know with poly, there is absolutely no option to get properly bleached V-loops because nobody does it at all. So let's just have a look at these French lace pieces with precision and make sure that the knots are in fact bleached properly. Okay, I'm going to really turn up the lights here. 73%, 80%, 90%, goes up to 99. This is as bright as these lights can get. So, 2 15 by 30 centimeter rectangles, each one in a net. Front. See, that's worrying. I don't know what front means. I said there is no front. I'm going to be cutting 6 pieces out of each rectangle. Front. Okay. I'm going to have to zoom it down onto this because as far as I can see so far, those knots don't look well bleached. Let's just see if I can zoom down there with the camera. Feels nice, feels like a nice carpet. All right, 1 second. What do you mean front? That'll be a front. This is how it's going to be cut, right? This is 3 hair pieces here, right? That'll be the front, then that'll be the front, then that will be the front. Or vice versa, that will be the front, that will be the front, or maybe that will be the front, or that will be... It doesn't matter. The bleaching needs to be uniformly perfect throughout the entire piece. Let's zoom down here. I'm going to explore from what they call front to back, okay? They're not perfect, but that looks probably acceptable at that point there. Looks acceptable. They're not big fat ants, they're just tiny little dot ants, so they're probably acceptable. Just randomly pulling pairs apart here. That looks acceptable. Same, probably acceptable. Back here, that does not look acceptable. That part there is starting to get very dark. Can't tell. Just looking along there, that looks worrying. That level of darkness in terms of the knots. So you can see some dark knots in there. That wouldn't be acceptable probably. We'll see. Okay. Let's see if it sheds a lot. Hardly any shedding, that's good. Tied in okay, that's good. There is no front. There is no spoon. There is no Dana, only Zool. Alright. See, that looks really worrying in terms of the darkness of the knots. Pretty hard to tell. I just realised I've got a yellow filter over this light. Get rid of that. Orange filter. Let's try it again. Here we go. So over here it looks a bit better than over there. It's got thick density. I'm not sure if this is medium or more than medium, but yeah, I'm hoping it'll be, it feels really nice. I'm hoping it will be the perfect amount of density. Those knots look good, very good. So I wish the knots were like that throughout the entire thing. Compare those knots there to these knots here. See, these don't seem as good here. So it's not uniformly bleached well everywhere. But given that you can see that there are places where it has been done properly, that should tell you that the method by which they bleach the knots is good enough if they just do it properly. Can't tell at that point. So we're looking at the material itself. This is considered to be French lace. Seems like Swiss lace, but I can't tell the difference between Swiss and French lace, to be honest. It's exactly the same sort of material as you get with a fishing net or something. But yeah, why would they write front on that sticker, on both of them? Doesn't make any sense. Front. What does that even mean? They know that's going to be cut into partials. There'll be 3 there and 3 there. Hopefully it's at least 6 months worth of hair pieces here. I don't like having to deal with the front hairline maintenance with lace, but if I have to choose, yeah. If I have to have lace, I'd rather it's French lace than Swiss lace because I can get medium density. All right. Well, I think these are, let me just talk to the camera. Like I was saying, well, I think these are bright. Jeez. I think these hair pieces look like they're high quality. So I will make a promotional video of these hair pieces. I won't mention that they wrote the word front because that just doesn't make sense. And if they use the word front as like a way for them to know that, well, you only have to bleach the front properly, that's what we've always done, that would be a massive problem in the culture of their company. That should just be completely abolished, obviously. If they're thinking you only have to bleach the front because nobody sees the back, but they know they're making partials, but they shouldn't have that mentality in the first place. We only bleach the front because nobody sees the back. Bleach the whole thing, bleach it all, always bleach it all. Otherwise you are a second-rate company. So I'm going to review these and I'll be cutting them up and turning them into replacement hair pieces for this custom poly. In fact, the other thing is because both this one and those ones are both from the custom set, this is low density poly and those two are medium density French lace. It would make for a good video for me to show. This is an example of the poly and that's the French lace one. So I will make that video. There's not going to be any swearing. There's not going to be any personal opinions about Donald Trump or anything. It'll just be a nice video they can use on their website. Because I'm pretty happy with what they've done here, so long as the bleaching works out on my scalp.